Good morning. Happy Memorial Day in the United States of America this morning. This is Carrie from Wildflower Art by Carrie.com, and wanted to do a video garden tour this morning of the garden. It's been a little bit. My last one I did was in April, showing the wisteria all in bloom. But I did bring out all my potted plants Mother's Day weekend. And so it's a beautiful morning here in New Mexico, Rio Rancho. It's where I live, and my backyard view of the Sandia Mountains. So how is everybody? It has been a wild spring for me. In March we had a week or two with 80s and 90-degree weathers, which kick-started growing season really, really early for us. We are high desert out here, so we get winter. And so for those temperatures to start that early, it really kick-started the garden and everything. And I wasn't ready. I'm like, it's too soon to turn on water and, clean out garden beds. I usually like to do that in April and into May. But I got through it. And then another problem I've been having this spring was we've had a rat infestation. So we trapped close to 40 rats. And we use the Havahart trap, which actually, let me just pan this way real quick. It's right here. And we've caught and released 40 rats in that. So that's been a blessing to have. And the rat issue started last fall, late last summer. I started noticing rat scat droppings, and I had some hoses in my garden bed over here, because this is where they like to live, was over here. And some of my hoses were being chewed through. When I went to go pull them out for the winter, they had chew marks and stuff. Well, anyway, they were pretty much breeding and reproducing all winter in this habitat. They have found a hole where these bells are, and I kind of showed the hole in my last video in April. Right at the bottom of the bells, I filled the hole in by now because we kept setting the trap right there. And catching them. And then they would climb up on the bird bath and drink. So they had food, shelter, and water. And nothing to get them. No snakes, hawks, or owls, because they're, undercover here. So perfect storm. So we pretty much got it under control now. I still put the trap out. In fact, this morning, a little baby bunny had gotten into my yard. And I took a picture of him this morning before we released him. And he was so cute, but he eats the rabbits. They decimate my garden. They eat all my hollyhocks. They eat my blue fescue grass. That's actually coming up and going through its seed heads right now. So we rehomed him to a different area so he can be wild and free elsewhere. But so it's been a hard spring, and then we've had a lot of winds. And just like I said, the hot weather already so far, hot, dry weather in our state. So it's been kind of rough this spring, and not liking the gardening season so far. I'm hoping that it starts to level out a little bit and we get some rain here. Our monsoons kick in, and it helps moisten things up a little bit and gets things to grow better. So you're going to see lots of cloches in my yard, because another issue I'm having is our quail, wild quail that are here. They've never been an issue for me before, but starting last year, they started eating my plants and my morning glories. This year, they've gotten into my lemon balm. And so I am blocking things. And then the netting you see there, that is for the rats. So those are my gladiolas that they had chewed down, and I covered them, and now they're finally coming back. So I'm like, I can't keep on top of all these critters this year. It's just been horrible. But the rat issue came about because, I don't know if any of you follow me, but this area here and down in my field, I had all those beautiful yellow cowpen daisies. And they have just thousands of seeds, thousands. And that's what kept the rats going, is that they could eat all those seeds that dropped. And I said to my husband, well, you know what? I'm not growing them this year. So anything that comes up in these rocks, once we get the rains, I'm pulling them, because they brought in the rodents and the vermin. And I'm just like, I can't have that in my yard. So that's a big change for me this year. But I said I will grow things that are unseeded. Like I got these 2 sunshine ligustrums because I love yellow. I have to have yellow in my garden because it just glows. It's so golden, it glows. And I said, so I will do grow things that just don't go to seed like that. And these sunshine ligustrum shrubs, they stay this golden, bright yellow, and they're beautiful and they're cute in pots. So I'm like, I'll just do things like that. So at least I have my color. And stay away from the seeded type plants. I'll still do cosmos and the Indian sunflowers because those don't seed too bad. But the cowpen daisies, unfortunately, I'm just not going to grow those anymore. In fact, there's a little one right there that's kind of dying. But, as far as having them in my rocks, because they get big. I mean, they get like 3-4 feet tall, and they're just full of golden blooms. And then each seed head's got like 100 seeds. It's just crazy how many seeds they are. And that's what the wildlife live on. They use that for food and gets them through the winter, keeps them fat and healthy. So live and learn, right? But finally passed all of that, and everything looks good. I got lots of larkspur in bloom right now. I bought a little seed packet last year and spread some. So all these larkspur have just reseeded from last year. And the seed heads, you can see here, these are going to go to seed soon. Gonna let them dry out. And what I do is I take the little tiny black seeds, they're like little specks of pepper, and I just drop them in things. Like I dropped some in this planter last year, and they're coming up now. So real easy to grow, and they're more of a cool weather spring plant. And they're just pretty. They come in different colors. They come in the dark purple there, light purple, pink, white. So it's kind of neat to see what you're going to get, when they come up. And I have some more over here. This is my wisteria. If any of you follow me, I sell my pictures of my wisteria on my website. Link is in the bio when it's in bloom. But right now, I threw some seeds under there. And then my peach irises, they came about this spring a little later, not in tandem with the wisteria like they're supposed to, because we had that early spring. The wisteria bloomed first this year. But they came and went, and they were pretty. And now this larkspur is making its way. I just threw some seeds in there, and that's what came up. And so they're going to be going by soon. But my wisteria, you can see, she's turning into Medusa with all her tendrils. And I'm actually letting them go a little long this year because I have a heart wreath down on my shed. You can see it down there. And that's what I've made that wreath with every year, is with the wisteria tendrils. And the winds really ripped it apart this spring. So I need to let these grow so that I can go ahead and repair that heart wreath. And I just kind of just wrap the tendrils around it and make the shape. And so once these get longer, and they get pretty long, they can get like 3-4 feet long, I'll cut them and then repair that wreath. But I have a lot of, like I said, cloches, chicken wire, netting this year. These are morning glories, and they're usually climbing up by now, but they got wiped out by rats and quail. So I had to put netting and chicken wire to keep them out. And my roses. And then I have a chrysanthemum here, same thing. The quail were after that. And then I do the morning glory in each pot here to climb up. And they will. This one does better. It gets more sun. But it was bare a couple weeks ago because the quail just got in there and pecked it all. They just leave stems. They take all the leaves. And I noticed it's the hens that are doing it. So the hens, because they're, it's mating season right now, they're needing the food for egg production. They are eating whatever they can get. So my garden, like I said, I have a lot of cloches and things that keep them out, because they were also after my coneflowers over here. And I love these cloches. I got them at a good deal. I can't say the name, but it's a store that has a bullseye. So if that gives you a hint, it was 6 for $90, and they're well made. They're metal. They got a nice little chicken wire, and they're black. So they're not too flashy, but I actually don't mind the way they look. I think they're kind of neat. So until my plants can get bigger, because that's what they're doing. The animals are just wiping out my plants before they can even get started. This is like the first year I've really had that problem. So, and I think it's because spring came so soon this year that they're just hungry, But this is a red hot poker. I've had this grass in here for 3 years, and it comes up. I keep it fertile. I love fertilizer, so I keep it fertilized, and it just puts out its bloom spikes, and little rosemary there, and all my amaryllis that I had in my greenhouse that I was separating and stuff through the winter. I did some videos. If you go back into my TikTok page, you can see those. They're all out now on the patio, and I got a whole bunch of babies over here because I plucked the babies off the mamas. Hi, lizard. Little lizards are out. I love the lizards. They're such good little bug eaters. See him? See him there on the... Oh, he's fast. Hi, buddy. Hi, lizard. They're my little garden friends. But anyway, those are the baby amaryllis there. And then my other ones that I propagated, not propagated, but at least took them off the moms and then put them in separate pots. But you can see, like this one here has got little babies starting. So come this fall, I'm going to probably have to take that amaryllis out of the pot and pluck those off and have more. So my bougainvilleas are looking beautiful. They are blooming. I have two, that one and then the one over here. And this one I have it kind of more of a bonsai shape, which I love. And this one was in this white pot last year. And it was just getting too big. And so I moved it. And it looks really nice in that one. My husband likes that plant. He says, I just love how bright pink it is and magenta. So, but, and then on my bench towers, I did a little video last week. And I planted my vincas in here. And they're babies right now. And I have a brick here. This is a wind block. So this is south. This faces south. And we get these strong south winds that just beat the crap out of my plants in the afternoons. Like 15, 20, 25 mile an hour winds. So I put a little wind block up for them. I've also wrapped them in netting because they're so little. I get these cutworms that come through, like these moths, and they'll just, I've had some seasons where I'll come out and the whole stem is cut almost all the way through and the plant's done. So I got to protect them till they get bigger. And by the time, late summer, you won't even see the rocks here. All the rocks will be gone. And I put the rocks because another critter we have is a thrasher. It's a bird, and it has a long curved bill. And it's a bug eater. And and I like our bug eaters, but he likes to look for roly-polies and stuff, and he will get into that planter, and if I don't have the rocks in there, he'll pull out all the soil, he'll pull out your plants as he's digging down with that beak looking for something to eat. So I've had to learn for the thrashers, I gotta keep them out. So it's been like, it's crazy, all these animals, all the pests, the garden pests, the quail, the thrashers, the rats, rabbits. It's a battle. And I would love all these animals in my yard if they just, would behave themselves and not destroy.